everybody, I'm Katie from katiewritestuff.com and today we're going to do the seamstress tag. Yep, I thought considering I showed you my underwear last week, it's probably about time I introduced myself to you all properly. Number one, who are you? I am Katie. I live in Victoria with my husband and two cats who you have met in previous videos. Victoria is the southernmost state of Australia. That's the country I live in. Yes, Australia. I work in a school library, but I mostly do things like publications, so newsletter, and I work with photography, surprisingly. Number two, when and why did I start sewing? I started when I was quite young. My mum taught me, and I learned to sew on what I have recently discovered is an Elna grasshopper. And it was a fantastic machine to learn on because you use a knee lever to operate it, so it didn't matter that I didn't have long enough legs to reach the thing that makes the sewing machine go. You know, that thing. I could just use the knee lever. I did sew for myself, but my Barbie also got quite a lot of fancy clothes. I'll do some close-ups as well, because I'm just generous that way. So we have this lovely sort of beach ensemble and her handy little bag there to carry her cover up. And of course I did some knitting and crochet as well because I learned it all at the same time. And the little pink number down the bottom, I believe that skirt was made from my school uniform. Came back into sewing via crochet, which led to knitting, which led to sewing. And I think I just fell in love with it again because I could create whatever the heck I wanted to wear. But more importantly, I didn't realize that all the dresses I bought in shops didn't have waistlines that sat at my waist, which sounds ridiculous. But when I first tried on a dress I'd made myself, I was like, what's this weird feeling around my waist? Oh, it's the waistband. So after that, there was no going back. What is my favorite or proudest make? I probably have two. One of them I'm wearing at the moment, which is one of the Simplicity reissues. Let me just put the bow out properly. I love wearing this. It's just so much fun, and it's got a giant bow on it. It's amazing. Of course, I put the zip on the wrong side, as that is my particular talent. I also like this skirt, but I mean, I like the skirt itself. But my favourite bit of the skirt is actually the hem. You'll understand, you're a sewer too. Because it's such floaty material, I thought an invisible hem done on my machine wasn't going to work. So I did a bias bound invisible hem, and it looks so nice, but it also adds a bit of weight to the skirt. So when it sort of swings about, it just does it so gracefully, and I really like that. So those are my favourites at the moment. Number four, what is my most disastrous sewing make? It's really hard to choose because one of the things about sewing is that for everything you get right, there's usually something you got wrong as well. So how well you do in sewing, I think, depends on how well you get over your failures, because there will be many. But two stand out. One was the first garment I made when I got back into sewing, because I went by the sizing chart on the back of the pattern and made a skirt that was about 8 sizes too big for me, so that was wonderful. But my most recent one was a wrap dress that I was so excited to find a pattern, but it was really ugly and 80s on the front, but I thought if I make a really nice fabric that'll work. And I found this really cute gingham embroidery on glaze. Trust me, it's got both, with little strawberries and cherries on it, and it's really adorable up close. From a distance it looked like I was scrubbing up for surgery, so it was devastating because I wanted to wear that dress, but there was just no saving it. Number five, where is my favourite place to go fabric shopping? Unfortunately, I don't really have a favourite place. Mostly I buy from Spotlight because they do have a pretty big range. I try not to buy online because I like to feel the fabric and see if it's right for me. So usually when I buy online it doesn't go well. I did try and check out some local fabric stores on the weekend to see if I could find a brand new favourite fabric store, and they were nice, but they're mostly sort of quilting stores, so I could have all the crazy printed cotton that I wanted, and I do want quite a lot, but for anything else there wasn't much variety, so I tried. Number 6, what is my most used pattern? Actually not clothing at this stage, because I tend to like making new things. So I haven't found a pattern that I really wanted to remake. Oh, except probably this. I actually would like to make more of these. My most used pattern is a project bag for knitting by Very Shannon. So all the links for the things I show or I'm wearing will be down below. It's so easy to make, and it's actually reversible, so I could turn it around the other way, but it's covered in cats. I mean, I'm going to keep it this way. And I've made about 3 of these, 2 for me and 1 for my mom. It's actually meant to be a sock project bag, but if you knit, I would recommend making one for yourself, because you can fit quite a bit in that bag. At the moment it has my cone of wool and my second glove from my second video. So those are coming along well. Number 7, my most dreaded sewing task is cutting out, always cutting out. It's not that I don't like the idea of cutting bits and pieces out, it's just that I don't have somewhere to do it that's comfortable to me. So number 8, my favourite sewing task would have to be unpicking a zip after you've done all the sewing. So I like to do centered and lap zippers, and I just love that moment where you're unpicking it and it's like, oh, there's a zip there now. And yeah, on the wrong side because this is me, but it's still fun. Number 9, what is my favourite entertainment while sewing? I don't really have anything at the moment, although if I'm doing hand sewing I like to watch TV. I'll either knit and watch TV or hand sew and watch TV, but I'm thinking I can probably introduce watching vlogs into that, which I actually did last night, so I guess I do watch things while I'm sewing, but not while I'm on my machine. That's usually when I'm on my machine. I'm usually imagining I'm on the Great British Sewing Bee. That's how I entertain myself. Tell me I'm not the only one. Number 10, printed or PDF. I haven't really used PDFs very much, so printed, I guess. Number 11, what sewing machine do you use? Unfortunately, I don't use my 201K here, although I hope to at some point once I've fixed it up. I use a Bernina 801, which I bought secondhand. It was quite expensive for a secondhand machine, especially considering it was from 1982, but it's a really nice machine and I love it to bits. It's really basic and it does a fantastic blind hem and everything else, really. Number 12, do I have any other hobbies? Do I have any other hobbies? I actually have to read my list, so excuse me for looking down at it. Along with sewing, I do knitting and crochet. Obviously, they're what got me into sewing, as I mentioned earlier. I love to read, I love to write, and I have a blog which I really like writing on, so please do feel free to check that out as well. I love photography, I love music, I play the piano, and I play flute in a local concert band, which I love to bits. I would have played you something, but I'm pretty sure there would have been copyright issues, so unless you want to hear a scale, let me know if you want to hear me play a scale on the flute. And I also love road tripping, which gives me a chance to practice my photography, and I love op shopping or thrifting. We call it op shopping in Australia, especially country op shops. They have some of the best things. And I've written at the bottom, it really annoys me how work gets in the way of all that. It really does annoy me. There's so many things I want to do and I have to go to work and earn money so I can do them. Ugh, life, so hard. So that is my Sempstress tag. I think it's a really great way to get to know other sewers on YouTube. So if you're watching and you haven't done it, please do it and drop a link below so I can check it out as well. Thank you for letting me tell you all about myself. I hope you found something a little entertaining along the way. I also hope you're out there having a lot of fun knitting and sewing and creating amazing things. And I will see you all back here next week. Bye!